Yes, I'm familiar with the nurses, yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm looking at right now from
Can I just say, the colors are much more bold in person as well. So what you're seeing looks like a, I would say, clay red, similar to the brick behind you, but it's actually much more vibrant in person.
Yeah.
So it's more like lobster that is burnt.
Burnt lobster.
Maybe salmon.
That's a shade. Yeah, what color is your skin tone? Burnt lobster. All right, let's get into game 2 of Order versus Bombers.
Yeah, it should be another good game. Of course, Bombers able to perform well yesterday. Order also getting their second win of the season.
Yeah.
So perhaps on the up and up, though what we saw from them was the spear composition. Order not going for the hard-out team fighting. And we'll see the direction they choose to go this time. Because Bombers, notoriously, if they get that early game lead, their solo laners are just too damn good right now. And Wild is also having a pretty good season for himself so far. Order much more about the team play. It felt like when Spooks and Swiffle were unleashed and when Dream and Jake just have a good lane and they don't have a bad lane, they're actually pretty poised to get into the mid and late stage as well.
Well, 2 bottom lane focus bans. Going from Bombers, Caitlyn and Lux, of course, Flex as well. Nico. Banner ban from Bombers. And Order taking away Karma and Yumi right here. So actually a lot of support bans coming through. Waiting on their final ban as well. We'll see if it's a solo laner. Like, oh, it's going to be Sejuani. I mean, obviously, makes sense.
Yeah.
Sejuani, a huge pick right now.
Again, with all the supports that have been focused in the bans, even the Caitlyn taken off the board. So they get rid of the Sejuani, which, unfortunately for Order, maybe something they wanted to have, given that the Zarya was a high priority for Bombers, but they didn't want to give that over. So Zarya Rakan will go to Bombers. 99% chance of that. It's what Order want to pick in response with everything banned. Is it Jake's Morgana that we start to see? You know, where do they choose to go and how deep will their champions run to have a strong 2v2 against them?
All right, Nautilus lock in here from Order. Looking for their follow-up. So kind of just, trying to get those bottom laners now early as possible, because obviously we just have a lot come in early in terms of bans.
You know, I instinctively think this every time, but Leona should come back every time someone goes Zarya Rakan. Just strong duo lane into it. Leona and Champion. Kai'Sa is a good one.
I think we had this conversation the other week. You know, you introduce one type, like one archetype of champions, and then another archetype comes in to counter it, and you just have the cycle that just goes on. Yeah,
I mean, League of Legends has existed for enough years now that you do actually note those cycles. Like when tank meta comes back, we start to see XY champion.
Yeah, Irelia lock-in though for Order. Always like to see a bit of Irelia. And there's the Akali. That was actually something I was going to say. I wonder if Order looked towards potential ban, because Ryoma has been popping off on that pick recently.
Yeah.
And we'll just get another game on it here today. Rakan Lovers Duo completed as well by Bombers.
And while we haven't seen it, Mimic can play it. So curious to see how they go through the next ban phase.
Yeah. I mean, Mimic has also been fantastic in his own right. I mean, we've seen Aatrox springs to mind, right, with Mimic.
Still available.
Yeah, for sure. Order taking the Kai'Sa, though, into the bottom lane. We'll see what their bans will be.
Yeah, matching the picks right now of their respective opponents, so both teams go bottom lane and flex champion. There are still some flexes on the board that I would expect Bombers choose to remove. We'll see the direction they go, as Order have been sitting on the 0-second timer for, I'm going to say, 17 seconds. And I have a feeling that draft is continuing and we're just not seeing it, as the Soul Strikes has been talking behind them.
Yeah. Otherwise, it might just be a lobby bug, and then we just have to...
Perhaps we can interpretive dance our way through the remainder, as the producers tell us.
And we can also take a look at how their painting is progressing as well, because I know our artists are still going.
They certainly are.
Ooh. Oh, yeah, I just got a ping in my ear that we are indeed dropping Champion Select, and players will get back into it very shortly. So yeah, just taking a look to my left, and we're going into backgrounds now over on Boy.
And that is, I've started drawing the background before I've added the hair.
Oh.
So should the background come first?
Well,
if we have time,
you've got some
wait,
written,
I feel like I don't necessarily have drying time. So I've kind of gone, I needed to add the sort of like the, you know, what I interpret
Spawn,
to be
be
baby
careful,
poo brown background. And then I've just left some space for the hair.
Where's the white?
But we'll see how it turns out.
It's very colourful. What
Thick
do you mean?
as well,
It's got paint
I
all
can
over
see
it.
the thickness of your background.
It couldn't have...
Oh my god, it's Ellen DeGeneres.
Look, the eyeliner got a little heavy.
What is going on there?
Amazing.
Look, wait. Guys.
That's blue.
It's coming along. Just wait till you see the finished product.
Right.
Actually, no, Nick
Where
has
is the
it.
white?
Nick has the white. Like, we couldn't have lost the white. It had paint all over it.
Nick, where's the white?
Wait, Bryce, was the like contouring that you have there intentional?
The
Yes.
white.
Yeah.
The white's up here.
Well, I mean, otherwise
That's
it just
not bad.
no, yeah. Otherwise, the neck.
It looks a little
just
like a
looked-
beard, but
Like just looked. It's like Proskieran with a 5 o'clock shadow.
He looks like Harry
No.
Potter right now.
Look, I need the white as well. We can use the baby one. Is this white?
That's white there.
I think.
Oh.
I think.
Okay.
I would argue that Jake's is not getting enough attention. 'cause
It's
I mean,
really good.
It's jammed between two monstrosities. But what he's done, I think, very advisedly, is he's gone for a sort of. It's the idea of the line.
I'm like Ando.
You're like
at the moment.
This is exactly like Ando. Yeah, this is solid. Like you're like the cooking challenge. You're actually trying.
try hard.
A try.
We don't like those on this.
We don't.
show.
We don't. No.
but
not
we haven't
really
hit the
this
face
region.
yet, and I think
really-
the face is where it really could go south or more up.
He might go interpretive and just leave it like a blank slate,
Right.
and
right.
it could be like you could be the next Atlas.
Insert your own.
Yeah, exactly. Like
I feel like
This
that's,
could be you.
the face is by far the most difficult.
How's that?
I think you nailed it, bro.
That's all right, I think, so far.
That's lovely.
Yeah.
On camera, it looks even better.
yeah, I'm calling it. Like, I'm not doing any more.
Maybe don't look at mine because, like, her shoulders are kind of as tall as I imagine she is. Like, I guess I'm saying her shoulders are way too big. Like it's like the length of a person lying down when you put it in comparison to the neck.
Is it?
There we go. Beat the devil out of it.
I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that.
No, me, not you.
Oh God!
Look at the width of the
sorry.
shoulders.
Yeah. No,
My God.
Oh God! Yes. No.
Like if we actually look at
Um,
like my neck, my neck, and then it's like that. It's actually like 3 necks. Like you could put
It's
a neck
like
here
an
and a neck
NFL
here.
2K19 player mugshot right now.
Okay,
For
we're
the
It
Shoulders.
definitely is. This is at least 1, 2,
I need.
3, 4, 5. I would argue this is this woman is 6 necks wide. So that's probably incorrect.
I just got baited so hard.
Did you put black on something?
No, like I thought this was silver because the packaging is silver and glossy, and I'm just like, we have silver paint, and then it's just black.
Were you just gonna put it right on the
Yeah, I
canvas?
was just like straight on. That is hair color, and we can fix it up. But no, this is now very. I need the tiniest little bit of black, the tiniest little dabble.
Raz
Now-
has just joined us in chat, by the way, Nick boy.
Who?
Raz.
Hey,
Very-
buddy.
Very confused as to why you're not painting him, I think, is what the next
What do you mean
comment's
this is
gonna be.
Raz?
Let's just
could be
not.
anyone, really.
Let's just not engage until the end, and so I don't need to face any difficult questions. Now, do you think that I should put darker outlines like on the edges of the shirt to give it definition?
I'm just
Like a darker blue,
I would say
How
yes.
did you make
You
your
would say
skin
yes?
color,
Say
Bryce?
like a
used-
border.
I'm just looking at
Yeah.
your reference photo as well.
Because
that's
I
all.
just want to know what not to put in my
I
skin
used
color.
Hot pink, white, red, and
Yeah,
yellow.
why not?
Yeah.
Hot pink, white, red, and yellow.
You're not allowed to
Okay.
use any of those colors.
I think that's fine.
Oh no, there's pink getting in my hair color. Oh no. How do I fix this?
Is it actually?
Yeah, I'm getting.
Atlas, you were
I'm getting
quite
pink.
white. There are like hues of maybe a little bit of red.
There we go. This is gonna go everywhere.
There
Yeah,
is.
it's also a washed out picture though because I think the
I think this is good for his face.
Can you open this for me really quickly? Thanks, bud.
I
Thanks,
think
bud.
there should be a little tiny bit of brown.
This could be a big mistake.
There we go.
That's a great sound.
Yeah, I don't know if I might pick that one. Pick that one up.
I think it did. I hit it in my headset.
Yeah. Okay. There we go. I think This is reasonable. Hair color, like it's getting into the right territory. I think I've done. Can you see this? I'm afraid of dropping paint. This color right here, that's gonna contrast really nicely with the burnt skin tone we've got going on. Hey, I'm caught.
I'm gonna get into Switch chat.
There we go. There we go. This
Oh,
needs to
good.
be
Chat only.
Okay.
a committee.
Okay. No, this was a good idea.
Oh,
It's just
no.
adding dimension.
Why is Spawn's actually good, Feyre? Because Spawn is trying to make it good.
Because
Very
I
hard.
like Max.
Does anybody else?
Hey, don't accuse us of not liking our subjects. That's a really good skin tone. That's like human skin. Not like me and Bryce.
Is this hair
The
too
more I
tall?
look at this, the more I'm like, in what world did I ever think that was right? I was genuinely proud when I had it at the palette. I was like, oh no, you nailed this, Nick. This isn't going to be another Gragas. Even Gragas is a lighter shade.
Nico,
novel.
It's about the
No.
same actually.
Pyra's skin tone is the best. Can I pick this up? I can't pick it up without getting paint all over it.
Look, you could only improve it.
Yeah. Like, if I could grab this, I feel like Pyra's skin tone is what I was looking for.
If you...
Jake, don't stand
Oh,
up.
no, you've got... Sorry.
Jake, do not stand up. But
Yeah.
Froska's just... She's spent way too much time in the Berlin
Now,
summer.
here's my question. Rusty, are you going to
where's the
maintain the
white?
same skin color? Or was Frosk like sunbathing, she fell asleep half under the umbrella, and you're going to fix the other side?
I won't know until I start.
Interesting.
I don't think I will. I don't know what I'm going to do, honestly, but we're in champ
Yeah,
select.
we will get back to the painting shortly. For now, though, we have a champion select on our hands. It's going to be the same picks and bans up until the point where the lobby crashed. And, yeah, I feel you. Big old yawn. I feel like we need OPL yawns, because I think we've got some...
That was a
yawns in
monster
the
from Pub yesterday.
Yeah,
memory serves.
I mean, that was like a 2-second yawn, right? Just that we just had. But Pablo, that was a solid 7
Yeah,
second
he
yawn.
hit a full 7.
Um,
Because I don't think I've seen a yawn that big in years.
That's true. All right, well. I feel like the line is like, can it make you yawn, right? Because I looked at Pub yesterday and I was like, I want to yawn now. I'm not even tired, you know?
I would say a small yawn still makes you want to yawn.
That's true.
As Dream's currently on the phone to the rest of his team. Same picks and bans up until
Yeah. We're
this
just
last
catching up.
pick, I believe.
And I think it was right now. We were waiting on the first ban of the second phase.
Yeah, so now we get to once again speculate a little bit further. The place where we initially were looking at is Bombers bans, and if they're going to be solo laners like the Aatrox away from Order, given that they have the first pick out of this ban phase. Where for Order on the other side, they've actually gone for the Jarvan. For the Olaf, which may indicate the priority towards the Jarvan again. That's where I was going with that.
No natural predator in the jungle. Zoe ban against Swiffer, I think is smart. And Aatrox ban against Mimic, I think is smart.
Absolutely.
These two teams.
Especially as a takeaway from Mimic, like you highlight. But
Yeah.
I guess the consideration there is what is Order looking for fourth with the Aatrox taken away. Is it just a priority towards a jungle role champion to not give the flex over to Bombers, which I think is the case here. Gragas, of course, has been locked in now.
Hey, out of the painting into the champion select.
Right. I got it. It took me a sec.
Just throw away a line, Rusty. It's fine. Bombers picking up. Could be a Morgana, thinking about it. Probably not, though, because they've got the bottom lane locked in. Poppy, hello.
Yeah, the
Plus
Mimic
Yoda with a
special.
hammer.
As you do, Mimic will look towards the Poppy pick. He's got the Aurelia potentially as his matchup in the top lane.
Obviously what he's looking towards, yeah.
It's not a bad choice if you're going to go towards that one and have a favorable lane. Of course, it also removes the possibility of something like a Jace for Tally on the top side. So I look forward to seeing where they go here, Order. And is it a mid lane just like an Azir type champion that they want to pick, something that can scale now that the Zoe's gone and team fight, or do they go something like the Jace and cop the L in top lane, have a rough time, but still be a strong champion for what they are?
Yeah, Rek'Sai final pick up there from Bombers. And see Soul Strikes just giving some last minute pep talks to the team. As we see the final pickup will be Kennen for Order going into top lane or mid lane. Probably going to be top lane, I would assume.
Yeah, the one thing to look at here for me, now the drafts are completed, was the choice of Gragas blind. They've gone for a Gragas jungle. They didn't go the Gragas Yasuo combo. To my knowledge, Swiffer's not the most renowned Yasuo player. Instead, they've already got the Aurelia, so that's now going to go mid lane, given that Poppy has been picked. And they've gone for the Kennen in top lane. Not a champion that's reliant on having a dash spell, so the Steadfast Presence doesn't actually provide the craziest amount of work for laning phase. And not a bad pick in the end for Order, as he can also choose to go for Lifesteal in his build. Go for the Hextech Gunblade into AP if he would like. Go full AD, as you please, of course. So now Order have split push in top lane. And a decent 4-stack in the mid. The Gragas is the one that still feels just a little bit out of place for me.
Yeah. I mean, especially with the Kennen lock-in, right? That's almost anti-synergy right there. I think that the Northlings to Kennen look great together, but the wrong placed barrel into disengage for the enemy team for the Maelstrom could be a bit of a problem.
And the other thing as well is maybe it was just because they really wanted magic damage, but Elise existed, and also something like the Jarvan into the Xayah is actually a pretty good matchup for the Jarvan. So being able to lock him down, a nice thing to have, but not going to be seen this time around. We work with the Gragas, work with what we've got.
Well, as we get into game, we've got our weekly check-in with me, Rusty, and Soul Strikes. How are you going, Soul Strikes?
Hey, what's up?
Not much. So yeah, I want to get everyone's opinion on what we have behind us today, which a couple monstrosities and what looks like a try-hard attempt. So what's your opinion on the pacing so far, Mr. Soul Strikes?
Well, The Nico one's really interesting, and I think having more painting like that, it's going to be more colorful around the office. So I kind of like it.
It's a good answer.
It is a good
That's
answer.
very
I feel like,
PC.
yeah, everyone's been really PC today. It's fine. You can rip into them if you like. But anyway, if we take a look at the potential level 1 coming out here.
The hook is on.
Red line's going to land. Roger's just down for the count. First blood.
Yikes.
So, yeah, yeah, sorry about that. All right.
Let's take a second to look at some compositions, then, shall we, before we go too far into this one. Given, of course, what happened at level 1, game state does shift a little bit, but Wilder, he's gone for the Rek'Sai here, Soul Strikes, and he's also gone for the Hail of Blades Soul Strikes, so perhaps a little bit more aggressive through his early trades. Is there a particular lane that you would like to see the Rek'Sai move towards as the game plays?
We want to be playing through mid side. I believe we win 2v2, and it's going to be very hard for Aurelia to farm because she is a melee, and Akali does relatively well against Aurelia. So 2v2 mid-wise, we should be able to win, and Rek'Sai is a faster clear than Gragas, so we should be having a good time around 2v2, but I'm not sure who got the kill, though.
Yeah, I'm not sure either, actually.
We'll find out in a little bit. It's the Kai'Sa.
Find out right now.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
Kai'Sa.
We kind of want to translate our lead to bottom, but yeah, extra potion and extra item on Kai'Sa is going to be kind of hard for bot lane.
Yeah, absolutely. Makes it a little bit harder. And actually take a second to look at your opponents here of the Gragas that you mentioned. Was that a surprise pick for you, that it was picked as it was? Not with the Yasuo that's usually combo?
I think they actually want to play 2v2 as well, and oh no. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
little bit awkward.
Yeah, so like they also want to play through 2v2, and Aurelia and Gragas is a mixed damage, so they were looking for 2v2 as well. So it's going to be, but we did pick Rek'Sai to win that 2v2 mid, so
Yeah.
I'm kind of happy with the draft overall.
Fantastic.
Does your game plan change now that we've obviously seen a lot of pressure in the bottom lane, another kill into the bottom lane? Like, do you think you'll start playing around solo lanes now, or is the plan still roughly the same?
We have to see how the 2v2 mid goes, because
Yep.
top lane's hard and bot lane just got out-traded very heavily. So yeah, just need to see how it's on Wilder to facilitate the map and help the laners.
Yeah, needs to see a little bit more before we make a decision. Ooh. So if we're getting maybe the best of Rayma in the mid lane. Well, thank you very much for the interview, Soul Strikes, and we'll probably see you again next week.
All right, thank you.
Don't think we had too much of a chance to talk this time around with all the constant fighting happening. Very hard to have questions, and very hard for a coach to give some concrete answers given that there's action of his team on the screen. Every time we look towards the screen,
Yeah, it's like, what do you think about this composition?
Yeah.
And now the game state has completely changed, so what you're going to say is not irrelevant, but, you know, will definitely
That was
change.
a flash.
Wow, the flash. Looking for the knock up there.
Oh.
Spooks will get out of the jungle. Mimic is coming down.
Mimic's still hunting.
There's so many
Spooks.
pings. Mimic comes in, jumps on top of Spooks, and it will just instantly go down. Tally returning with some damage, and Swiffer coming in from mid
Whoa,
lane, flash
another
the wall,
flash.
looking for the duet. Doesn't land it onto Mimic, throws out the Q, hammer shock, but will still go down to Swiffer.
Oh, the smite actually not finding it because the reset was there as well. So we've just seen kills back and forth. Flashes constantly as well. Dream currently 2-0 as Rakan has died as well. And things just looking really good so far for Order.
Yeah, I mean, Soul Strikes was just talking about that 2v2. And speaking of 2v2, we have a 2v2 in the bottom lane right here. Hook connecting, and just straight up dead. Nothing you can do if you're
And I
rogue.
can't help but feel like that was simple. Like, just too simple, almost, from Order. They hit a hook, someone dies. And Rakan, with Spell Thief's start, also gone towards the Fairy Charm in a position to do nothing regarding his health. He just dies super quickly. And just in a position to get hooked under his turret, not safe, against someone like a Nautilus with Aftershock. So as mentioned, almost a little bit too simple there from Order. Of course, the trade was there on the top side in response. Flash is being used by Bombers to enforce the trade happening. But it was matched and was hit back a little bit harder from their opponents in Order. So really good start, really comfortable start.
It's almost in like the perfect situations and perfect positions as well, because talking about translating pressure into bot side here for Bombers, 2 kills now on the Kai'Sa. Talking about wanting to win the 2 versus 2. Well, that was a jungle invasion, heavy pressure onto blue buff, went looking for that first bit of momentum there from Wilder. So that's now being disrupted as well. So it seems like the Bombers' game plan, while it looked good in theory, good in draft, now is getting picked apart by Order.
And there is always a feature to be discussed on how a level 1 can influence something like that, right? As simple as getting a kill onto the Zarya as a longsword and an extra little bit of strength at a level 1, and suddenly a Nautilus Kai'Sa can duel you a little bit easier than you would like. You You know, things like that can actually mean a significant amount of difference. And for the top side of the map, it was as simple as using the leads that have happened in bottom to get a bit of map control, knowing where the Rek'Sai is, and trying to make some counter plays on the rest of the map. That was the one part where Bombers are able to fight back, though, and stay close to even overall.
5 minutes in and getting your first blue buff here, Wilder. I think level 5 of that one. To be fair, Spooks is still also a little bit good from his own jungle here because there was a lot of invading going on, but he's now moving on to his second red buff shortly. And that's the first recall coming in from Wilder, will be the double longsword. Looking back towards that bottom lane. Basically a full refillable and longsword over Luch. I imagine Dream also has more in his back pocket as well.
The hardest thing here about this bottom
extra
lane is actually the experience, not so much the gold right now. You know, the 2 longswords or whatever the
It's
difference
1,000
may
gold
be.
over Luch.
Yeah, which is it's nice and it is significant, but the bigger thing is that Rogue will not hit 6 remotely as fast as Order will.
Yeah.
And that means that they have legitimate kill threat just by levels, let alone the items, you know, that add up to be a bigger deal. Nautilus presses R once he hits 6, should hit 6 before Rogue, and then you're in a position where you can't lane. And not being able to lane at that level experience point does actually open the map for someone like Spooks to go towards Dragon, maybe even threaten a dive. You know, they could bring 4 people down and dive it. They have so many possibilities from that alone, and yeah, this early game start has been wonderful for Order.
And we've already seen what happens if Jake just lands a dredge line, so if you have that point and click CC, which anyone you click in the bottom lane is going to die. Order feel like they definitely have the priority here to go for this Dragon. Control Ward will spot it out, but really not something that Wilder can contest. Doesn't have flash either, so
No,
wouldn't even be able to go for a drive-by.
the control ward line is brilliant from Order setting up for this Dragon. If it's a steal, it's just going to be that P shooter, so they don't find it. 4 control wards through the river's mid.
Oh, okay. Rainbow will just straight up take him out in a 1 versus 1. Ticking down from the Ignite. Spooks trying to get in range. Doesn't have the 6 though, and Wilder intercepts him on the way to the mid lane. Spooks following up the Q there. Yeah, I saw Wilder looking for a furious fight, but didn't quite have it.
Got 6 straight away off the next minion, I think, that died.
Yep.
A little bit unlucky there from the jungler of Bombers regarding experience, but at the end of the day, when you speak about a team like Bombers, you know the individuals do have enough skill to actually make up some difference. Tragic start to the game. Baroma is just so good on this Akali, but he's able to get the free solo kill there. 1v1, and then the jungler protects him so there's no trade and almost gets a kill himself.
It's also a cool looking 1v1, you know, with like instant dashes, a lot of movement going on.
Oh, they're
High
hunting.
damage abilities. Tally, knock up immediately onto the cannon. Does have the slicing maelstrom, but it's a lot of damage very quickly. Tally does get the stuns down, but Spook's not in range to help him out. That's just a nice pick coming out from Bombers.
Yeah, Spooks was positioned close, but not even close enough because Bombers were looking to get the jump on the top laner of Order. So another kill goes across. It's 3-3 in kills. There's a clear disparity as to where the money lies as bot.
And there it is, the point and click CC. We already spoke about it, and there's not much to be said other than you hit 6 and someone dies.
And I look forward to seeing the replay of that, I think, more than anything else, because that Rakan was in melee range when he died with summoners up. So it makes you wonder exactly how they came to be positioned where they were. But once again, Order, we speak towards the recipe for success for them, and it was mid-jungle having control and the bot side going even. Well, how about the bot side winning? And you get flashbacks to Gauntlet Order run, where their bot lane looked unstoppable.
Nice stretch line, forcing out the Featherstorm there from Luch. Wilder was also there into the bottom lane, but below half health, Luch is very much in kill range of anything lands. So Order in full control of this bottom lane right now. Rogue just comes back in, level 5 to level 7 of Dream. This is a rough bottom lane, for sure. It's close to unlaneable, but coming underneath turret, see if they can do it. Jake connects that dredge line once again. Jim's locked on.
A lot of redemption to be had here from Rogue, 9 minutes into the game, and speaking frankly, he's been having a shocker right now. Even that W, not close. He was zoning away Dream, of course, but Jake was the one tanking turret. Didn't have the ultimate, so they could have gone for a more aggressive trade, maybe tried to force a summoner, but they put all their efforts towards keeping Luch alive. He stays alive, and they'll get the reset down there in the bottom lane, but the risk of another plate being taken was always possible by Order. They'll choose to get a timely reset for tempo instead.
Yeah, Dream fast approaching first item. Coming out of base right now, ops towards the boots. Boots 2, that is, and now moving towards the mid lane. Swift trying to farm underneath this turret right here. A lot of pings going on right now.
Yeah, I mean, we know this from the LPL, but Korean integration into teams is often communicated best through pings.
Yep.
themselves. It's a universal language in League of Legends. As Order have swapped the map. They've flipped their bot lane up towards the Herald. 10 minutes and 20 seconds into the game. They've been spotted, but can their opponents stop it? As they are also here themselves, matching the flip.
Takes me right back to China. And, you know, I think as we see Wilder getting potentially caught out, good flash away from the cast. Ryoma coming in from the bottom side. This is a potential pincer coming in from Bombers, but they are backing away towards the top side. Meanwhile, Spooks look towards Ryoma as well.
Every time he's got the bop, he's trying to push him away, and it's actually been successful. You know, top lane now has to deal with a wave. They're going to potentially reset maybe one more wave before that point. Mid lane, not safe, can't get through. The vision's controlled by Order, and so the second objective of the game is freely secured with no contest by Order. And they start to actually stretch a little bit with a gold lead, and they threaten more with the Herald.
Take a look at the gold real quick. Mid lane is not to spend. It's that bottom lane. It's getting further and further ahead. Still 1,000 and a little bit ahead now.
The difference is bot lane. You just saw a glimpse there of Tally's point of view. He sees both of them take the blast cone over the wall, and so walks the safest possible route towards bot lane, where perhaps they were trying to catch him in that rotation. Something we saw from the Chiefs last game against Mammoth.
The Herald into the top lane. Not quite kill range just yet. Wilder is also waiting for this to come in.
Lots of money.
Towards Dream. Instant flash away as the teleport comes through. Oh, Rogue
Nice
dodging
knock-up.
the dredge line. Finds the instant knock-up right there. The rest of Order try and disengage from this one. Do they look for the re-engage though? No, Ryoma comes in from mid lane. They're into the 5-point strike. Spooks is low. And underneath the barrel as well, comes up and goes immediately back down. Well, follow through. Was that the Peace Shooter?
Yeah, now 3-0-1 Wilder. So suddenly Bombers, on the back of a Herald being summoned by Order, get 2 kills. They pop 2 stopwatches as well. And they're able to get themselves the top turret, at least a lot of plates off it. And this game very quickly just turns on a dime, and we said we need redemption from Rogue. We got it almost instantly.
Yeah, I mean, that to me, I was looking at that and it's like, okay, probably going to be a kill right here, but then the random Q from Rek'Sai happens to snipe out the AD carry, which completely opens the floodgates. Top tower will go down now to Bombers, taking the gold lead they should out for this tower take.
They will lock that down. First turret of the game, a whole lot of money going over to them. Wilder wishing he had flash in that fight almost, you wanted to say, but still they end up getting the kills just barely. They've scraped their way across the line in a very good way right now. I think this is a point where, you know, the rotations were good. The engage from Rogue here, flashing the hook and knocking them all up was absolutely perfect from him. Picture perfect moment. And the flank comes in from the Akali, and I thought Spooks cancelled this perfectly. He stops R1, and he does. But it doesn't matter, because Bombers, they've got the numbers, they've got the health bars, and they don't need a minion wave to continue that forward.
What a snipe to finish that one off as well. Yeah, we're talking about redemption moments. I think Rogue just had his, to be honest.
Flashing a Nord hook is
Yeah.
not an easy thing to do, given how just chunky the giant
It's
anchor
just a
is.
massive hitbox. Yeah.
That thing is thick, like Cardi C thick.
Yeah, multiple
Not even Cardi B.
But either way, yeah, Rogue. Huge play coming out from him. Bombers converting this into a dragon as well. It will be an OG dragon. See a couple of recalls on top side by Order. They are hammering away at this turret though with Dream, so they might be able to. Oh, they'll take another minion wave. No one's there though, so he should be able to get it on this next wave for sure.
And there's still an objective trade, and this is something that, you know, Order, they're able to trade the objectives generally that have been taken now. So against the grain, Bombers gave themselves a pretty comfortable position. Order still reset on the map in a pretty good way, knowing that they can't contest the
Take
dragon.
a look at this early wit's end from Swiffer as well, just to deal with the Akali in lane. I definitely respect it, and he respects the Akali's damage.
And normally you'd say not too bad against the Rakan, against maybe the Poppy as well, but it's also a Trinity Force Poppy. If you know Mimic, you know that he goes Trinity Force on Poppy. One of the only people I've ever seen consistently go for that. Not just as like a, I'm a snowball Poppy, let's build Trinity Force, but as a, I'm Poppy, I'm building Trinity Force.
It's definitely a bit of a statement because I think Poppy are one of the few champions in top lane who is very much like a Sunfire Cape first type builder. Even with that, well, it's picks up the bottom lane. Swiffer jumps back out. Yeah, very smooth.
Well controlled on the minion wave, and For a second there, our observers just showed us the vision by order on the top side, but the same thing can be said by bombers on the bottom side of the map. So lots of control, just split as the map goes. And really that's why you're seeing the teams play as they are. Order bring everybody down to the bot side if they want to try and contest the vision in this area and defend Swiffer. Bombers, they were hovering that area to threaten the dive, but well navigated by the Aurelia will prevent that.
Typically you get a lot of value just out of the Sunfire Cave out from Poppy just by itself, but you know, if Trinity Force basically says, I'm going to kill someone, you're getting a 1v1 with me, I'm going to kill you.
Yeah, well, Trinity Force is a dueling item. And, you know, it doesn't actually get enough credit for exactly what it does as an item, in the fact that it's obviously not a team fighting item.
Yep.
It's not a split pushing item, so to speak, but it has that advantage of the sheen. But it's so heavy into a dueling item because it provides every kind of statistic that you could want.
Yeah.
You know, the sheen increased sheen damage by Trinity Force completion, an extra 50%. Cooldown reduction, 20% is massive for being able to duel someone and get repeat cooldowns off on your spells. Q being an important one for Poppy.
Yep.
And the timing of Q with Poppy is actually coinciding with the sheen. So it's almost the perfect item for a champion like Poppy, and Aurelia is another one as well to be able to duel so effectively.
Yeah, you can almost chain slow with Triforce on Poppy. If you get like a couple seconds or like a second and a half where you're out of the slow, but it's just like slow, hammer shock, E, you know, and it's just like a chain as it chases you down. So it almost transforms the champion. So I'm excited to see this one out of Mimic. On the opposite side though, Tally going for that on-hit building course with Blade of the Ruin King. So not going to be an AP build today. Gunblade completed out there by Ryoma. Essentriever finally completed it in the bottom lane by Loot as well.
Ocean's Rover against the Stormrazor build of the Kai'Sa. Different styles here across the board. Not going to be the crit focus out of the Kai'Sa. Could actually alternate from this point from Gwynzoo's to AP or AD. I'd like to see where that goes. Zonias wouldn't be a horrible choice, honestly, in a game like this. At the same time, Hurricane to be able to hit them in team fights more effectively could actually be exactly what they're after.
And that was just a one good push in the mid lane from Bombers. Everybody turns up, not enough of a defense from Order, and they just take down the tower from about 60 or 70% to 0. So 2 towers to 2 now, evened up. And this is essentially a dead even game in terms of gold and power spikes, to be honest.
Hitting item spikes pretty well across both of these teams, though.
Yeah.
You know, you mentioned the Wit's End before, the Blade of the Ruin King also. Now you've got jungle item for Gragas, 1.5 for Dream on the Kai'Sa, who's still in a pretty good position for himself. But item spikes are more important for a team like Bombers. You know, when a Hextech Gunblade is done for an Akali and level 11 is hit at a fairly similar time, you're like, okay, well and truly online, can 1v1 anyone, terrifying champion to deal with. And you're prior to that point, not so much. So it's a very big deal for Bombers. As now Order look to return the favor in mid.
Yeah, pretty much just the same thing. You know, everybody groups up from one team and there wasn't enough of a defense to clear out the minion wave, and they just walk up and take it, essentially. It feels just that simple.
1-3-1 comps. Yep, both teams running 1-3-1 comps. It's about how the minion waves are controlled and how the vision between lanes is also established. With that in consideration, you'll note that the side laners of Bombers were in a defensive spot as the turret fell in mid. Same thing applied for Order when Bombers took that turret.
30 seconds left in the Dragon, which will be Cloud Dragon. So a micro objective for both of these two teams. But Triforce has now been completed by Mimic. So talking about that you know, first power spike from pretty much all of these champions in a pretty perfect situation. Yeah, Wilder, that was
some alpha business right there.
Yeah.
He just chatted his way in.
To be honest, I don't like he had backup coming, but they were a good distance away. I think if Order knew the exact position, they may have turned on Wilder, but
I think Gragas also turned the corner at that moment that he went over the wall. So, oh god, oh god.
Yeah, so you kind of like respect the Rek'Sai that's just coming to you, because there's no way the Rek'Sai is by themselves. Tally took a lot of damage in the bottom lane though.
He did. That's life still, but it's very hard to step up and steal some life from minions when Poppy is staring you down with the health advantage. Order. Looking for the teleport from Tally, you would expect. So they are playing it slow. They're waiting for him to base. And now they look.
Yeah, he's just going to do a bit of a safe teleport here to join the team. Looking towards that smite, will be secured by Gragas. Bro goes in, but he's detonated pretty much instantaneously. Swiffer, great Vanguard's Edge, looking towards Loot. There is like the Featherstorm, brings it back. Jake, oh, you hate to see it. Swiffer knocked up. Great defense coming out of Wilder. Jake following through onto Mimic, and he's kiting around this fight right now. Bats away from Tally. Triple kill coming out from Dream. Looking for the shutdown here, Mimic with that dueling item. But Dream's going to find his fourth. Luch backing away, the only member remaining. I saw that Void Seeker coming across. Didn't quite find its mark, but that was curtains there for Bombers.
Yeah, big win for Order through the team fight just then. Basically a big part of it once again. You think, how did Bombers win the team fight in top lane? Well, it was the fact that Rogue flashes past the hook, hits everybody with the engage. This time around, you'll see it in the replay, cancelled immediately, killed immediately, and was useless for the fight. Now 0-4-4. Well played by Order to navigate that. Now they move to Baron. Rogue is the only person in the area, and they take this really quickly.
Oh, yes, they do. 5-1 and 2. Kai'Sa will do that. Rogue and Luke stepping up to the plate, though. Spooks over the wall. Kai'Sa will secure it. Tally's low. Will fall. 1-for-1 trade so far. Jake backing away. No turns back around to try and help Dream in the pit, because he's standing and delivering right now. Double kill comes through. Ryoma looking for the cleanup alongside Wilder, but it's 2 by 2 as Bombers go into the slaughter pit. Dream follows through with the Icathian Rain. Wilder over the wall, wants to snipe, dodges out of this.
He can't
time.
recall. Just
And
let
there
him
is the-
recall, guys.
Yeah, because he'll just kill you. Wilder,
Just let him
he
bait.
sees him.
4 of you are dead.
He's got his health back now, so there is no point on jumping on the Kai'Sa again. But Wilder chilling in the jungle, finding a chance to recall. They
He's in
know
a lot
he's
of
there,
trouble.
though.
A whole lot of trouble.
Yep, Swiffer turns the corner right into the Rek'Sai. Spooks is right behind him, but even as 1 versus 1, she'll be able to take it out. That was all the burst coming out of the Rek'Sai. Spooks over the wall, finds the slow down, misses the cask. Wilder, no flash, no tunnel.
Oh.
With the knock-up, though, it's a Swiffer.
Oh my
How
God,
are
he's the
you
best
still
player
alive,
alive.
Wilder? Finally finished off the barrel roll, but he had no right to survive that long.
If Wilder had smite for the blue buff,
He would have got enough
lived.
health back, yes.
He would have lived. We'll watch the fight again. The hook connects this time onto Rogue. The flash afterwards. Dead to Riot's not able to get in past that point. Tally with the ultimate zones a lot, and then Swiffer is able to follow that one through. You look towards the Ryoma half of the fight. Was hard to see. Good flash from Dream, I believe that was as well. Keeps himself alive and in the game. And that was the numbers advantage they need. Now this was still close after Wild attacked Ince there to actually getting this kill. If Dream dies, Baron's not on the cards. That's how close that fight was in the end. But because he survives, because the Baron is secured and 4 people of Bombers throw themselves at the pit after, the gold lead stretches monumentally and the lead grows almost insurmountably for their opponents.
And it's just unfortunate, you know, like it seems like a near calculated play, but yeah, what would have been double digits of HP basically turned into a Baron.
The old Triumph proc.
Yeah.
Saves the day many times for Dream in this one. 7-1-4.
Yeah, we talk so much about like Dream being in the wrong place at the wrong time, but this is a game where he's been in the right place at the right time so many times that's been resulting in all of these kills. 7-1-4. That's a big Kai'Sa. 3 items.
Yeah.
obviously.
You know, the reason we speak about Dream doing this so much is because when he is mispositioned, they lose. So the fact that they're playing so well and he is 7-1, I mean, credit to Order. They're so good at playing League of Legends, especially when their bottom lane has a lead as Wilder just wants to die, but the fight is on.
Yeah, goes in with a Void Rush into Stopwatch Initiate, but he's bought time for Rogue to come in with a flank. Gets the first charm onto Swiffer, second onto Tally, but the damage isn't quite there yet. Goes to Vanguard's edge for Tally, great defensive ultimate. Rayma jumps into the back line, promptly shut down. Luch, barrel onto him, he's gonna fall. 3 swift kills to Order.
And it's just so pretty from the Nautilus right now. Jake is just cancelling every rogue engage possible. Once again, Dream is the MVP. They're keeping him alive like so. Mr. President survives. Now 8-1, and many people dead, as it doesn't quite find him.
Close though, real close. But Order, yeah, great fight. Fight after fight, pick after pick. And with 3 down, should be top tower falling right here. At the very least an inhibitor. They're really actually just adding insult to injury, taking away the red buff while she's at it.
Yeah, Wilder and Rogue move towards mid lane to defend that wave to ensure they don't try and push more than one wave. There won't be the inhibitor, however. Death time is a little bit too low. The full disengage to be expected. Items to be purchased. And honestly, with the items they're about to pick up, said the lead was insurmountable. That may now be reflected through items. Dream's having a hard time deciding. Now, again, the person I want you to keep your eyes on is Jake and Rogue. Because the charm hits on the first target. He's looking for Dream, but he just can't find it. And frankly, Jake's playing out of his mind with these hooks right now since the first level in the game. Nice cask as well from Spooks to secure the next kill. And just good individual stuff here from Order.
Yeah, for sure. Disengaging at the perfect time onto the perfect players. It's a good day to be an AD carry. You know, like you have such a beefy front line in front of you, and you have like a big initiate coming out.
It's just a good day to be named Jake.
Yeah, fair.
Painting's going well. He's got 2 people around him to reflect positively upon himself. Same thing with the Order Jake in this game.
I will say that Atlas's head is looking a little small, but
If we're going to take a second to have a painting check-in, note that everyone else is upstairs watching the game and Bryce is still painting.
well, to be honest, he needs to complete because you're gonna jump in after him, so he needs to complete his side.
I'm going to ruin whatever he's done that's good. Which is more than I'll do.
Order. Setting up for potential kill stroke here.
Whoa.
Rogue
Finds it.
finds the back line. Dream is dead. That's 1,000 gold shut down there to Luch. Swiffer disengaging and Tally, yeah, he's just running for the hills right now. Hammer Shock is big and the follow-up as well out from Mimic is a massive. 3 kills. And that was a huge pick from Bombers.
And this game really has just flipped on a dime time and time again for very
Has no
simple
right to.
reasons. In the fact that it is a battle of Rogue versus Dream and Jake versus Luch. Like, these bottom laners, if they're getting engages, if Dream is caught by the Rakan, Bombers win the fight. If Jake cancels it, they don't win the fight. Just plain and simple. And once again, we see an example of what happens when they're caught. Well, speaking of caught, another shutdown goes over. And look at the gold difference. It was 8,000. Now it's 5. And it was the knockup, not even the charm. Crits on, 1,000 gold. Remember, that goes to the Zarya, that goes to Luch. And the flash from Mimic secures it. Not to slam into the wall, but to hit the ult afterwards. And all of the Bombers commit to that one. Very well played from them overall. Good execution. Baron. We've had a wild day of games so far.
And there's only 2 in, Rusty. We haven't even finished the second game yet. Tally to the top side. This is not an AP Kenner, remember. And Dream, he steps forward right into the open arms of Rogue. But in comes Tally, gets the stun down to the back line, and it gives time for Dream actually to start killing this front line here from Bombers. Gets his second. Tally cleans up the back line. And maybe we go back to equilibrium to what should have been. Order, take down 3, look towards the Baron. Rogue going back to base, Ryoma as well. However, Spook's right here in the 1 versus 1. Goes into the Zonyas. Jake's right behind him.
Oh.
Doesn't connect the hook. Ryoma. Oh,
my
does
God.
not finish him off. Spooks will shut him down.
That was close. Spooks can now go into the pit, secure it with the smite if he wants. He doesn't even need to, though he should cancel that recall and get a Baron empowered one. As he'll do so, Order will get the Baron. The question has to be raised, why start the Baron if you were Bombers in the first place? That fight took place with Zarya not having ultimate and frontlining against all of them as they tried to pick Dream. And the recipe has been set. We said exactly how they can win this game, but you have to have cooldowns up if you want to make that work. They didn't have the cooldowns. Order stay alive, and now it's 2 inhibitors and a Baron on the back end.
That being said, it was almost bad.
Still
two
close.
members jumping onto Dream, and he dropped super low. We didn't have that feeling. Something went wrong. If an extra auto attack hit, something like that, like Dream would have dropped, and then we have a very different fight. But yeah, you know, you've got to maybe think about like the decision for Bombers to go for that Baron in the first place. We'll obviously take a look at what happened in the replay and how it all went down, but yeah, now we're back to a state where Order, again, in a driver's seat. They dropped the hot potato for a second, and now it's back in hand.
And this has been a weird game for the fact that there's been outplays, there's been individual showings that have been fantastic. There's been some really, I'd say, inconsistent, though, performances overall through those showings.
Sure.
And, you know, when Rogue's hitting the mark and he's doing it well, Bombers look better, but he's also 0-5 prior to that point, so it hasn't been completely good. And I think at the end of the day, it's about who executed more consistently amongst the inconsistencies. And that answer does belong pretty convincingly to Order right now. AP build also for Dream, like mentioned, was the better choice in my opinion. Got the Zonyas, which is big.
Ooh, Mimic. Still on the steadfast right there. Will get knocked up. Dream doing a lot of damage, so this is not a super tanky Poppy. Remember, this is Drive Force first Poppy. So Mimic will pop. And this is a 4-man defense now in Order with Baron Buck.
Yeah, the Trinity Force Poppy and also an AP Kaiser to chunk him. The fight's on.
Oh, Ryoma is already dead. And here comes Tally up to the north side of the fight, taking down Rogue. Swiffer delaying Wilder and Luke. They can't even get into this one. There's a good pull on the feathers, but with 2 members down, in fact 3 members down, this will be a near impossible defense here for Bombers, but Luch is going to try. The Feather Storm comes in with a lot of damage, but he will drop on the backside. Wilder goes into his Guardian Angel, and this should be it now by Order, with minions flooding into the base. The floodgates are well and truly open, and Order It was a little iffy for a second, but they will finish off the game in 30 minutes.
And once again, Order, they go for a 2-0 week this time after a 0-4 last 2 weeks prior. And fantastic is the week from Order right now. Good showing from them. The bottom lane steps up to the plate. Mid-jungle looked fantastic today and yesterday overall as well. Tally hard carried his game yesterday. All he had to do was survive today, and he was able to do that relatively well. And, well, that's the playoffs Order that we saw in Split 1 coming through even earlier right now.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it wasn't until yesterday, right? We were looking at Order and it's like, okay, they need to get over this kind of like mid-game transitional hump, and it's just like, this is the stage when we're seeing people get called out, people getting picked, and this is what they need to deal with. And I feel like that wasn't even a factor in that game. You know, we just looked at Order being pretty consistent. There was that one time, that one hiccup, which was getting caught in the mid lane, which could have turned into more, and kind of like the saving grace was that Bombers misstepped, went towards the Baron, got caught themselves, and we went back to Order one truly being in the driver's seat. So there was that, but I mean, a win is a win.
The thing is, it wasn't a clean game from either side. I think we can say that. But Order definitely looked much more clean in comparison to their opponents. And for me, like, so much of it is about what happens at level 1 and about the momentum that Order get. And I've said this a lot, and I'll continue to repeat it as well because I still believe it to be absolutely true, is that they live and die by the performance of their bottom lane. And starting the game at level 1 with a kill for the bottom lane, for the AD carry for Dream, is the perfect situation for how they want to start a game of League of Legends. And that continues through. Jake able to get some hooks. They get a second kill. They get a third. Rakan ends up the game like 0-6, I believe, by the end of it as well. And while Rogue had good moments, it wasn't consistent enough. And Order had that lead early to snowball it through.
Yeah, exactly. And Dream just got huge in that game, like absolutely huge. There was, I would say, like a couple, it felt like teamfight missteps, being a little too far forwards. Like when you have on the opposite team an Akali, right? Like I feel like you have to pay a little more respect towards that. I mean, in the end, it didn't end up, you know, costing the game, but it's just one of those things. It's like a consistent theme with Order that we've been seeing that I would like to see. Maybe a little bit more respect put there. But hey, the scoreline looks great when you come out of the game. So
for me, the game was decided by consistency between both of them. And that's not just today. That's like league-based as well. Bomber's not the most consistent team. Their game was dominant yesterday. They have moments. You know, they've gone through the split. Sometimes they win in 20 minutes. Sometimes they do games like this where it's not nearly as clean as they would like. But that's the learning process that both teams are going to be going through. And hopefully, you know, you see those improvements as the weeks progress.
Yeah, well, that's going to do it for Game 2. We're going to take a short break. But when we get back, we'll be going back to the Painters Lounge. Going to do a bit of a safe teleport here to join the team. Looking towards that smite will be secured by Gragas. Rogue goes in, but he's detonated pretty much instantaneously. Swiffer, great Vanguard's edge, looking towards loot. There is like the Featherstorm, brings it back. Jake, you hate to see it. Swiffer knocked up. Great defense coming out of Wilder. Jake following through onto Mimic, and he's kiting around this fight right now. Bats away from Tally. Triple kill coming out from Dream. Looking for the shutdown here, Mimic with that dueling item. But Dream's going to do that. Rogue and Luke stepping up to the plate, though. Spooks over the wall. Kaito will secure it. Tally's low, will fall. 1-for-1 trade so far. Jake backing away. No turns back around to try and help Dream in the pit. Because he's standing and delivering right now. Double kill comes through. Ryoma looking for the cleanup alongside Wilder, but it's 2-by-2 as Bombers go into the slaughter pit. Dream follows through with the
Unity Force Poppy and also an AP Kaisa to chunk him. The fight's on.
Oh, Ryoma is already dead. And here comes Tally up to the north side of the fight, taking down Rogue. Swiffer delaying Wilder and Luke. They can't even get into this one. There's a good pull on the feathers, but with 2 members down, in fact 3 members down, this will be a near impossible defense here for Bombers, but Lucha's going to try. The Featherstorm comes in with a lot of damage, but he will drop on the backside. Wilder goes into his Guardian Angel, and this should be it now by Order. With minions flooding into the base, the floodgates are well and truly open, and Order is a little iffy for a second, but they will...
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
Yeah. Stun lands. Stun does land indeed in the route to follow things up. Rayless jumps on in, looking to get that suppression. They find one. They started off with that Nautilus kill. Now can they find a second? No, they cannot, because Advance say that is not how you team fight. You turn things around with rings a bell. If we are going to see that 1-3-1 split that you mentioned before, Elder Drake just has so much impact. But hold that fort for 1 second because Pabu just getting most part, flashing in to try and force things out, but he's going to get locked in place at the moment. That's going to be the ultimate coming across there.
Praelus is dead.
That is Praelus gone. That is Cassiopeia.
Here we go, Chippies is in.
Yes, indeed, he locks in place. 3 members as Sybil jumps across as well. Flash, dash, everything is being thrown at this one. Raid is deleted. That is a double kill, a triple kill. Unique members from the boys in blue.
How about 4998?
A little goes a long way at Macca's. Right now, you can pick up our classic large fries for just $1.
I fixed